Masters in Endicott, New York. This is the Bob Huckabone Television Show. Starring BC comic strip creator Johnny Hart, Johnny's right-hand man Jack Caprio, BC Open co-chairman Luke Seaman, BC Open 9-ball tournament director Gary Pinkowski, the big band sounds of the Joe Salzano Big Band, and me, Roger Neel from WNBF Radio. And now, on this, our Bob Huckabone show for BC Open Week, I asked Bob before the show if he played golf. Bob said the closest he got to golf was fishing in the river behind the 14th hole at Enjoy. He says he knows about 18 holes, but they're all fishing holes. And now, here he is, the man who's rapidly becoming the area's most famous fisherman. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Huckabone.
Thank you. Welcome to our show. Great intro, Roger. Roger Neel of WNBF. Let's hear a hit for Roger. Great job. Not only does Roger do sports at WNBF Radio, but Roger's also the program director over there. Before we get into our show, I'd like to remind you of the annual auction at the Waldorf Bar and Grill in Johnson City. Is coming up October the 8th, and the money raised is used to support local programs for children with handicapping conditions. So we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. You're getting ready for BC Open Week, and we'll be back with our show in just a moment. All right, what a band. What a show we have for you tonight. And starting off, we have another case from the book of Lyman Q. Okay, we call it the case of the bearded broadcaster. This man is from western Pennsylvania. Anywhere near Kane?
Not too far.
Okay. He graduated from Westminster College in Wilmington, Pennsylvania, where he played on their first and only NAIA Division III championship football team. Also played baseball at Westminster, later became a sportscaster. He was for several years the voice of the Whalers. He used to have to travel so far northeast with them that it became an hour earlier. He's married, has a lovely stepdaughter, and now, let's see if you can solve the case of the bearded broadcaster. Who is he?
Roger Neel!
Roger Neel, and he's with us tonight. Welcome, Roger.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks
nice
for being
to be
with
here.
Where exactly are you from in western Pennsylvania?
Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania.
All right.
There is a Slippery Rock.
There are a lot of jokes about Slippery Rock.
Yes, there are. I hope I'm not one.
Okay. You went so far northeast with the team that it became an hour earlier.
Well, it really changed time. The Atlantic Maritimes changed. Actually, you were an hour ahead of yourself, which is the first time I was ever early for anything.
How did you get to Binghamton?
I worked in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, did hockey down there for 4 years in the North American Hockey League, and the team folded after a flood, one of their several that they've had, and an opening came here, and through some contacts was able to get the position here. So. Okay.
And did you, when you said, I'm sure everybody heard the broadcast when you say, he shoots, he scores. You want to do that for us here? Or do you have to be in the mood for that?
I have to be.
Okay. Did that evolve, or was that something you planned to do?
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't an original. I mean, it had been done years before that. But I guess it evolved early in my career when people used to say, you know, you really don't show much emotion when our team scores. So I thought I'd try to change that. And then they said, calm down a little bit. You're going to jump out of the booth.
Did it bother you when you do that and people would turn around and look at you?
Only in opposing cities, yeah. I was lucky to make it out of there a few times. Had to go down with the team quickly to get out of the building.
Did you have any problem with pronouncing French names in hockey?
Not usually, only you know, if somebody happened to be listening who had been a French major or a teacher, because most people couldn't pronounce them anyhow. So we just put them right through.
You've been, well, You've been going to the BC Open for quite a few years.
Yes.
And I assume you're going to be checking out the BC Open again
Definitely.
this year.
Yeah, it's a highlight of our summer and fall, no question.
Right. And you'll be doing some broadcasts from down there on NBF Radio.
We'll be live from the course.
Right. And you may also be doing some television, I guess, as part of the BC Open
Hopefully, yes.
broadcast. And also, looks like it's going to be a real big BC Open week, huh, with all the big names?
It's tremendous. Excellent. Yeah. They've had several more commitments. They keep coming in, and it's going to look to be another great tournament.
Okay. Roger, I want to thank you for being with us today. We'll be talking with you a little later on. Roger Neel, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what a band. Do we have a band here tonight?
Excellent.
With us tonight, the Joe Salzano Big Band from Ithaca. And Joe, let's hear it.
For this evening, Mr. Dave Kent.
Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. When you see me worried, baby, you know it's you I hate to lose. Now nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Nobody loves me and nobody seems to care. Talk about bad luck and trouble, you know I've had my share. I'm gonna pack my bags, gonna move on down the line. I'm gonna pack my bags, gonna move on down the line. To where there ain't nobody worrying, there ain't nobody crying. Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. Well, when you see me worried, baby, you know it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Talk about bad luck and trouble, you know I've had my share. I'm gonna pack my bags, I'm gonna move on down the line. I'm gonna pack my bags, gonna move on down the line. To where there ain't nobody worried, and there ain't nobody crying. Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. But when you see me worried, baby, you know it's you I have to lose. Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. But when you see me worried, baby, you know it's you I have
Great.
Mr. Dave Kent.
Okay. It's my pleasure to introduce at this time the co-chairman of the BC Open, Luke Seaman. Luke, how long have you been associated with the BC Open?
Forever. This will be our 16th year, Bob,
Yeah.
and I've been with it since the start.
Every
Yep.
year.
Yeah.
And every year it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
We're on our way to an ever bigger future. You're right.
And you've got a great field for this year's BC Open.
We are so pleased with the field this year, Bob. When could we offer the community the top two money winners on the list, and Chip Beck and Joey Sindelar, of course, our last year's champion. We've got 4 of the guys coming off the last win. Ken Green off Canadian just last week. Mike Reed, of course, the World Series. Sindelar, the International. And, of course, we got our own local Rochester Jeff Sluman, who won a major this year, the PGA. Bruce Litsky, Hal Sutton. We just couldn't ask for a better field, and still probably some to come. But we just soon draw the line right now. We're satisfied. If you draw the curtain right now, we've got the field for the people to come out and see.
Luke, why don't you give us a rundown of the week? What's going to be happening during BC Open week?
We've got a full week. Monday we start out around 12:30 with the Felix Roma Pro-Am, and that's a fun event. We're pulling the players from the qualifying school, so it's the younger players that are going to play in that event. They don't get much of a chance to play in a Pro-Am. Tuesday, we have a very interesting event. We call it the long driving contest. We're one of 20 tournaments on the long driving contest, and these fellows will be hitting off the 18th tee. They're shooting for a $10,000 prize, and at the end of the year they get bonus points and go on. But more importantly than that, Johnny Hart, as you know, has invited a whole host of cartoonists that will be with us. They're going to play in an amateur long drive contest. On the 18th green, or on the 18th hole, as you know, we've got a water hazard probably 150 yards off the tee. And every ball from these amateurs that go in the water, Johnny picks up $100. So I think the BC Open is going to benefit greatly financially. We set the tee blocks for these guys, and I'm sure that the tee blocks will be at least 200 yards from that water hole. Okay. So that'll take care of that. In the afternoon, we have a $10,000 Endicott Johnson Shootout, which is always a fun event. There's 10 players start off the first tee, and there's a process of elimination on down through. It's a fun event. These guys are haranguing each other and that sort of thing. Of course, Wednesday is our Pro-Am. We start out at 7:30 with one group on shotgun start, and then, of course, at noontime, another group. Then the tournament starts proper on Thursday. Friday is cut day, so there's a little trauma there for half the field that's going to be cut out. But that evening, immediately after play, we have the Gatlin brothers coming in town. We're going to have a concert right at the 18th hole, so people can sit in the grandstands. Stage set up with a full sound system. So Friday's going to be an interesting day. Anybody that has a Friday's ticket gets in free to that concert. And then, of course, finish off Sunday with another great BC Open champion.
Beautiful. It takes a lot of people to put on the BC Open, doesn't it?
Just about 1,000.
Yeah.
We were a little worried about that this year. As you know, we're playing later on in the season. Normally we finish up on Labor Day. This year we don't start till the 19th. So we were a little concerned about our volunteer corps, whether they would kind of disappear into the ether. But they're with us. We will have a full complement of volunteers, the service clubs, IBMers, you name it. We've got, once people get locked into the BC Open as a volunteer, we put a fish hook on them, and they never get out. So.
And somebody said that when they found out we were doing this program, said, you got to mention the Sertoma Club parking, the valet parking.
Valet parking. Probably one of the few golf tournaments that do that. You drive up to the gate, a few steps from the entrance to the golf course. Sertoma Club is there. They whisk your car down to Griffin Park. You go into the golf tournament. When you come out, give them the stub. They'll go down and get your car and bring it back to you. So it's going to be very handy.
I want to congratulate everybody on the BC Open Committee on a great job, and everybody in the community, and wish you success on this year's BC Open.
Well, we'll be successful, and of course, I just want to mention our leader, Alex Alexander, who does such a terrific job, and we're grateful for all the people that help us.
Thank you, Luke.
You bet.
Luke Saban, co-chairman of the BC Open. Another big event that's coming up is the BC Open 9-ball tournament. Did I say that right, Gary?
BC Open PPPA World 9-Ball Championships.
Oh, okay. This is the fourth one coming up. Gary, how did this come about?
Started about 5.5 years ago when I came up with the idea. I had won the World's Tournament, and I was wondering what to do with myself after that. It just got to the point where anything after what I did was going to be anticlimactic as far as my billiard career went, so I went into promoting.
Okay, and it's each year getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Bigger and better every year.
Okay, tell us about this year's 9-ball tournament.
This year's 9-ball tournament is...
By the way, wait a minute, let me interrupt Gary. Gary corrected me during the commercial. He's not the director of the tournament, he's the chairman of the tournament.
Tournament chairman. Yes, I hire the director.
Okay.
Okay. What was the question again?
Okay, the question is, tell us about this year's event. What do you got going?
This year, Willie Mosconi's going to be here this year. He's putting on two exhibitions. He's the legendary great Willie Mosconi, 15 times world champion and a pure gentleman all the way. He was here doing some promotional work for me a few weeks ago. We did some commercials and played golf with Johnny Hart. Saw John's great swing. Oh, what a beauty. Willie Mosconi's going to be here. As far as the field, we attract the top players in the world. With the coming of Willie Mosconi here, and Willie's not playing, by the way. He's going to do a couple of exhibitions and be on hand for autographs, photographs, and so forth. But with the field we have, I would say that we have, out of the top 32 players in the world, we'll probably have 30.
Okay, now you have, the tournament runs from the 18th to the 22nd.
September 18th through 22nd. Okay. And we have a Pro-Am also in this tournament. As a matter of fact, the Pro-Am has expanded this year from 16 teams to 32 teams. We've got kind of got like cartoon wars. We've got, Johnny was very instrumental in this. We've got all the cartoonists that are playing in the BC Open will be playing in the, most of them will be playing in the BC Open 9-ball tournament also in the Pro-Am.
Okay, so what is the schedule? When the Pro-Am is?
The Pro-Am is on, when is the Pro-Am? I forgot.
Okay.
The Pro-Am is on Thursday, the 22nd. It starts at 5:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And it'll be on TV6, Telepress 6.
That's another thing. Now, you're televising this thing on a network, is that correct?
Televised locally on Telepress 6, but we do a 2-hour edited version for Tempo TV that goes nationwide. As a matter of fact, it goes around the world. It's bounced off a satellite. It's a satellite network. Right. 22 million subscriber households and 1.5 million with a dish. It gets out pretty good.
So that's really getting to be a big thing.
This is our second year with the network.
Now, locally, for instance, Pocket Billiard Lounge has expanded in the Binghamton Plaza.
It's doubled in size.
Yeah. Is this going on all over the country? Is pool getting to be a bigger and bigger sport?
The billiard industry in general is experiencing a real surge in its growth rate. Japan has caught on. Pocket billiards is mainly an American game, and it's extended out to foreign countries now, and it's really going crazy over in Japan. They built 8,000 pool rooms. They're not pool rooms over there. They're pool bars. They have nice lounges, and they have a bar right with a billiard room, and they built 8,000 of them in the past 3 years in Japan. It's just everybody, it's fashionable to walk around with a cue case over there.
Where's the tournament? And I assume tickets are available.
Right. Advance sale tickets are available at the Pocket Billiard Lounge in Binghamton, the BC Open office in Endicott, at the Southern Lupus Foundation in Binghamton in the Press Building, at Triangle Billiards in Endicott, Endwell Greens, and I can't think of any other places.
Available. Okay, Gary, thank you very much for coming in and talking about the 9-ball tournament. Thank you. Gary Pinkowski, everybody. And now more of the big band sounds of the Joe Salzano Big Band. Joe? you think William Tell did a lot with an apple? See what Endicott's Washington Avenue merchants do on Saturday the 17th at the second annual Apple Fest, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It really starts with style shows at Donnell's and Deanna's Thursday and Saturday, and then Saturday there's continuous entertainment with the North Side Senior Chorus of Endicott, a bike and trike parade. You'll meet Johnny Appleseed and the Apple Princess, and they'll have apple cooking and baking contests and a huge school kids coloring contest. So don't miss the Apple Fest on Washington Avenue, Endicott, 10 to 5 on September the 17th. I just happen to be one of the judges for the Apple baking contest. I want to thank Mary Whitman for inviting me. I'm going to pick up this microphone here and talk with Mary Whitman, if we could. Mary Whitman is the chairman of the Apple Fest. Come on up, Mary. Everybody knows Mary Whitman, I think. Tell us about some of the things coming up in the Apple Fest, Mary.
To begin the parade, we will have the bike and trike parade, which is at 10 o'clock. This is small children. If they're under 5, they should be accompanied by their parents with decorated trikes, bikes, wagons, and they bring their friends with them, teddy bears, Cabbage Patch, whoever. The new rabbit person, Bob, anybody, to drag along the street. There will be judges, and we will have prizes for the prettiest, the most unique, the most interesting, and the nicest pet. There will be square dancing. We happen to have one of the guests here tonight, one of our performers. I didn't know she was here, but Arlene Griffin is over here.
Hi, Arlene. That's Arlene over there. Can you see Arlene waving her hand? Hi, Arlene.
She will be doing country music with her husband at the Apple Fest. We will have the Moravian dancers, a little touch of Italy group, Peter Vitelli and his brother Sam, I believe, or his cousin Sam. Hal Carr, who is a music teacher at Jenny F., will be leading the Northside Senior Chorus, and he will be accompanied by Fran Alamonte and another thing. There will be all kinds of craft shows. There's still a space for craft people. We hope to get some art people, and Monday night there will be a meeting of those. Anyway, everybody within sight, hearing my voice in the area around Endicott, come to Washington Avenue, because that's where the action will be Saturday from 10 to 5.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. That's Saturday, September 17th. Mary Whitman. And I bet the next time we'll be talking with Mary, we'll probably be talking about the big Christmas parade that happens in Endicott. It's my pleasure to introduce at this time two gentlemen who have been associated with the BC Open since it very first started. As a matter of fact, many people think that the BC Open stands for Broome County. Doesn't it? Does it, Luke?
Yeah.
British Columbia. It's
bad comics.
It's my pleasure to introduce at this time John Hart, the creator of BC, and Jack Caprio, who's been working with John for all these years. Both of you are originally from Endicott. Mm-hmm. Okay. Before we even go into it, what is Jack Caprio's association with you in the comic strip, John?
In the comic strip?
Well,
he's Clumsy Carp.
He's what?
Clumsy Carp.
He's Clumsy Carp in the comic strip.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you two get together as far as working on the strip, and what does Jack do?
Well, I was working on the strip one day, and he came falling down the cellar stairs. And what was that again? What does he do? What do you do?
I haven't figured it out in 20 years.
We work together on gags and things. Jack is sort of handles everything. He's a manager, agent,
like the business
lawyer.
End of the business?
Yeah, he keeps everything together, keeps it all going, writes gags for me, helps me letter, does all kinds of things.
I understand now that you, John, started as an entertainer. Is that correct?
I started.
Us?
Both of us?
Well, I thought. Now, I heard that when you were in high school, you were an entertainer. Is that true?
Well, sure.
Where that was at UE then?
Extremely entertaining.
Don't do that.
We got expelled more than any two kids in high school.
You got expelled?
Only once.
For what?
Well, we skipped school one day.
I see.
We threw rocks in the river down in back of the waterworks. But we went back to school and turned ourselves in.
This is too boring to get.
Okay, I just thought that's an
interesting little side.
It was really exciting.
The last time, now the last time I did an interview with the two of you, you said that you used to do some PA things at Jenny F. Snap Junior High. That's how you got together, was that right? At Jenny F?
PA, what's PA?
What's PA?
What's that?
What's PA?
What's PA?
A public address.
No, we were in public a lot, but we never addressed anybody. No, we got together. You want to tell them or me?
Who wrote this stuff anyway?
Yeah, we got.
Corduroy knickers is why we're sitting here
We
together.
were introduced by 2 pairs of corduroy knickers. Walking down the hallway in the school one day, we each had. We used to wear these stupid knickers, you know, and they go down the hall and they go whiff, 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 whiff. And this long, long hall, and I see this little clown coming up the other side, and I'm coming down this side, and we're both whiffing, you know. and as we got opposite each other in the hallway, we just stopped and we looked at each other and we both cracked up laughing. We laughed for about 5 minutes, walked across the hall, leaned on each other's shoulders and laughed and introduced ourselves, and we've been inseparable since.
Inseparable.
If it wasn't for our mothers making us wear corduroy knickers in the 7th grade, we would never have gotten together.
Wow.
I'd be working with somebody sensible.
Yeah, if I had worn, well, if he had been wearing, you know,
How
leotards or
many newspapers is BC and Wizard of Id in?
about
I'm gonna say the
2,200.
same thing. Yeah, 2,200.
That's a lot of newspapers.
About 1,100 each.
Now,
That would be 2,200 altogether, though.
one carry the
Yeah.
one.
okay. Now, how many different languages?
Different languages. You got them right there. You know.
Is this all of
You
them
know
right
darn
here?
well how many.
This is all of them here?
No, we got.
We're in 2.
2 different languages?
2.
Well, you got to have more than that because I see here. Here's one in German. You want to come in a little closer here, and wherever you want to show it. We can show this one in German. This says this is Peter's Wörterbuch, right?
If you say so.
This one is in.
That's German.
That's in German.
Right.
Now,
Ein Astronaut mit Schlägner und Kapsel.
and I guess that's pretty funny in German.
That is,
yeah?
in German, that you'd be on the floor right now. If you knew German, you'd be holding your sides.
Actually, they cleaned it up.
Were you able to get that on the camera, or do you want to move in closer? Because this one is really great. Okay, John.
This one is going to be a lot of people.
This one is.
Okay. I take a wild turtle ride on your back and fly you to the moon. That's in Japanese.
Nice. You had it?
That was the.
Has English subtitles.
Yes.
I'm very proud of that.
Fly you to the moon.
Yeah.
Here's,
Fly you to the moon.
okay, here's another one. This one is. I assume this is French. What does that say, Jack?
That says, give me all your money. Oh, in French, you mean?
Well,
Videz les sacs de froid, les bains français, les caissons. And the punchline, which is, this whole thing builds up to this, is c'est sera par vos premier coup de fouet.
let's hear it. Let's hear it. For
Let's hear it.
all those French-speaking people in the audience.
I just said your mother wears army shoes.
Is that what it says?
No, I was just saying it to you. I have no idea what it says.
Okay, here's another one. This is another one in German.
Oh, read that one, John.
I can.
Okay, do you want to read it? Can you read it?
Siegheil. I don't know what this is.
Okay. The little guy in the strip is you, John. Is that right? The king? Are you the king in the?
What do you mean by that? Sort of, yeah. Yeah, I'm the brunt of all the short jokes. So
So,
pass them
okay,
off on
and Jack is Clumsy Carp.
Yes.
Who's the Duke?
The Duke is Louis Marinello.
Lou?
He has a place here. called
Duke's
the Duke's
Place.
Place.
Oh, Duke's Place. Oh, okay. Who are some of the other characters in the strip? Who are they?
The characters in the strip
modeled?
were people that I worked with when I worked at General Electric Art Department.
Yeah.
There was Thornton Kinney, who was Thor. Pete Reuter, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, was Peter. And who else doing it? Oh, Wiley is my brother-in-law, who actually does have an artificial leg.
I see.
Oh, he's a little bit cleaner than I portray him, except for his mouth, which is filthy.
We got to take a commercial break. Well, with us is John Hart and Jack Caprio. We're talking about the BC Open, which is coming up. And you have a lot of cartoonists coming in, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, tell us about them, John.
I'm sorry, I have to leave now. No. Okay, we got a bunch of guys coming in on Wednesday morning. We're going to put on a show, what is it, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 to 12. And all the guys that you see here, I'll introduce them in a second, are going to draw for the public and sign autographs and do all this silly stuff till about noon. So I want all of you people to come out and be with us. This is Stan Drake, who does Blondie, and also used to do The Heart of Juliet Jones, which you probably saw around here. Mr. Jim Garfield. I'm sorry, Jim Davis.
And his dad named Davis.
Jim Davis, who does Garfield. John Cullen Murphy, Prince Valiant. Mort Walker, Beetle Bailey, and High and Lois. John Hart, Dick Brown, Hagar the Horrible, and High and Lois. These two guys both work on that. Brett Parker, my cohort in crime, and The Wizard of Vid. And Mike Peters, who is a political cartoonist. I think he's Pulitzer Prize winning, right? And also did a strip which we saw here for a short time called Mother Goose and Grimm. If you all remember that.
Sure.
He's going to come back and haunt us for.
We probably should say who drew the caricatures.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nate Giorgio, our own hometown Vestalite.
We'll have to have Nate on this program.
Is it Vestalite or Vestal? It?
Vestal person.
Guys who kids are idiot.
How did you? How'd you decide on this as a drawing for the BC Open?
This is for the 9-ball. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I'll get the right question here.
Okay.
How did you decide on this? I'm just kidding.
I couldn't think of anything to do for the 9-ball, so I did it. No, I don't know. How did I decide on it? It was just a wild thing to do. You know, it's the ball that comes up and everything's sitting up on top. It's a kind of a designy, silly thing.
It's actually his swing, is what it is.
I got it.
Okay, now you can talk about the 9-ball.
Okay.
I got the right one.
This we did for Gary and his 9-ball tournament, of course, which runs in conjunction with the BC Open golf tournament, and so we kind of put the two of them together.
Okay.
And made a little logo out of it, and that's...
This one?
That's just cute. I thought that was so cute, I just
okay.
Colored it up and brought it down.
What do you do in your spare time, John?
I'm doing it now.
That's it.
This is it.
I also have to congratulate you. You won an award for your commercial for Monroe. Right?
Yeah, we did this morning. Came in a box. Jack opened it up and began weeping with joy.
So, whoa, another award?
It looks like an Oscar. It looks exactly like an Oscar.
Then that's the
It's called a telly.
It's what?
It's called a telly.
A telly? For a television commercial?
It was for, what, the best
animated commercial in '88.
Commercial in
'88. Great. Do you, no.
I do. Thanks a lot.
You were talking about doing a movie in Romania. Whatever happened to that?
In,
or
let him.
Hungary.
Let him alone.
Wherever it was.
It's close enough.
It's one of those countries that are sandwiched between Russia and France.
Doing a show like this is no easy show. Yeah, it's in Hungary.
Hungary, of course.
Yeah, because it's cheap. That's one of the reasons.
Well, they don't have to pay for peasants, for costumes.
You got free peasants?
Yeah, they just call out.
Call it a whole, 10,000 people, and you got the peasants.
They show up and they got the costumes.
So
they're dressed for it.
So the movie just is sitting on a shelf somewhere? Or?
Yeah, sort of. The writer's thing kind of shelved it a little bit.
I see. Okay.
Did a little backslide.
Okay, so what special project are you working on now, or aren't you? Is it the BC Open the big thing?
The BC Open is it, yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you very much for being with us. You've been great.
My pleasure.
And I want to thank Joe Salzano. But Joe, I want you to, if you would, introduce the guys in the band. Is that possible?
What a band.
What a band, huh?
What a show.
What a band.
Well, we're from Ithaca, New York. We've been together about a couple years, and we're playing every Sunday night at TJ Tuesdays, which is right on the Commons, downtown Ithaca. And we'd like to invite you all and some of the viewing audience to come down to Ithaca, or would it be up to Ithaca, and enjoy the show. I'm going to start with the trumpet section. Do you want to applaud for each section at a time?
Sure, let's do it.
We've got it all worked out. Todd Horton. Chris Weber, who's from Endicott. He lives right around the corner from here, as a matter of fact. He teaches right next door at Union Endicott School. He's the band director there. And Woody Peters, the trumpet section.
Let's hear for the trumpets.
In the trombone section, we have the, we're going to start with this end. Dave Davies, who also sings with the band, very fine vocalist and arranger, trombone. Rob Peel on lead trombone. And Hal Reynolds on filling in for Chuck Alabin over here. Trombone section. In the saxophone section, formerly of Binghamton, are you from Binghamton, New York? He now goes to school at IC, Ithaca College. Nathan Sinander. And on alto sax is Dave Cahill. Over here on my right is Fred Hiscock on baritone sax. And John Bird on tenor sax. The saxophones. My ex-roommate, Jim Scarpula, on the piano. Yeah. On guitar over there, back with the hat. Why don't you stand up, take a bow, Mr. Chris Whitetalk. Originally from Vessel, outside of Binghamton. And me, Jim, and the bass player, Harry Aceto, are all from Rochester, New York. Harry Aceto on bass. And on drums, Mr. Mike Wellen. And on vocals, we'd like to feature him one more time. How about a nice hand from Mr. Dave Kent? Yeah. We're going to do an old classic thing entitled Witchcraft.
Fingers through my hair, that sly come hither stare that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. And there is no defense for it, the heat is too intense for it. What good would common sense for it do? Because it's witchcraft, wicked witchcraft. And although I know it's strictly taboo, when you rouse the need in me, my heart says yes indeed in me. Proceed with what you're leading me to. It's such an ancient hitch, but one I wouldn't switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than you.
Telepress TV 6, the newspaper channel, Binghamton, New York.
Boy, what a great program this has been tonight. Luke Seaman, thank you very much for being with us. Gary Pinkowski. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jack Caprio. Thank you, John Hart. Thanks for being with us. It's just been a super show. And thank you, Roger Neel of WNBF Radio. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. It's been just a great show, and we'll see you next week.
And this has been a Bob Huckabone production.